You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Delcoro. Uh-oh. We got no Eric. We've got no volume. We got a...
There we go. How did I get Mike?
All right. Let's do it.
Mike. I'm back. All right. Happy Monday. Little difficulties getting started, but we're gonna once we get started, we'll get rolling nice and smoothly here.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we got a good show for you. I'm Eric Vanderlaan. I'm your host of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and your team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And I got my buddy over there.
Here I am. My name is Mike Delcoro. I'm a tech specialist and investigator with War Party Paranormal as well. And we got a pretty exciting show for you guys tonight. And I'm going to let Eric kind of tell you what we're getting into.
All right. So we just recently attended the North Florida ParaCon. That was like a month ago?
Yeah, about that.
We were invited by Bigfoot Stacy of OutKast Paranormal. It's been on the show. And yeah, he invited us to be a guest and also conduct the paranormal investigation. They were doing dual investigations because there's Bigfoot sightings around that area and apparitions as well. And it was at a place called the Warrior on the River Bar. It's pretty much a bar, but it's also like a little concert venue. Where bands play there all the time. This place dates back to the 1960s. It was called the Confederate Inn. And back then it was like a segregated bar. And then after that, 1960s, I read up on my stuff. Oh, okay. My brother.
I thought it was older than that.
No, that's what I thought too. But then I did a little research and found out it's not that old. It's actually 1960s and it was called the Confederate Inn.
Okay.
And I think like in the 80s or the 70s, it became a bar and there's been shootings and people were killed and murdered there. And then after that, it was a strip club. I guess you may know about it. Maybe he was there. And that was not too long ago, I don't think. But anyway, and then after that, it was like some type of place where they like rescued people. And now it's the Warrior on the River Bar. So pretty cool, right on the river too. And
yeah, it's a neat spot.
Wooded area. So yeah, we were invited there. We got to speak. We met some really cool people. We investigated a lot of cool people.
Heck yeah, got to see
Bigfoot
some friends.
And the paranormal. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, and we also, got to see some friends and stuff. Matt was there, Supernatural Spectrum, and we got to see some other people that we know. That was good times. Yeah, definitely. Big shout out to OutKast Paranormal for hosting the event.
Yeah, yep. Cool people. We met a lot of cool people, so can't wait to go back. Stay tuned. It's coming soon. There'll be an announcement. Mike and I are going to be sort of like a freak show, but we're going to keep that all surprised, let everyone else know. But that's going to be like a traveling freak show, right? But anyway, that announcement will come later. But anyway, I got a little intro about the place. You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, here we go. I've been learning from Mike.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
Yeah,
And
drone shots were incredible.
Very skilled drone pilot there. I don't know.
Yeah, we had to pay him a lot of money to do that. But
That's crazy.
Big shout out to our paranormal team brother, Ernesto Paez. He's with a group called Modern Mind, so you want to check them out on all your social media. Music's amazing. Yeah, he writes our music. He'll write yours too. So
And
send him a message.
You know, I saw in the comments there, you know, Kinder Paranormal was like, I was there. Yeah,
they were.
that was awesome.
Yep.
We met them there, so that was awesome. Thanks for coming on by.
Yeah, definitely. And without further ado, should we bring in our guest? We'll just surprise everybody.
Let's do it.
Here we go. What's up, Chaz?
How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Everybody, our guest, Chaz of the Dead.
Of the paranormal is probably more accurate, though.
That's true. And also of the magazine Paranormality.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's
big shout out to those guys, Paranormality magazine. They let me man the booth there at the North Florida ParaCon.
You did an amazing job.
Based project. You know, anyone who loves the paranormal, likes to write, do research, send them some stuff. They'll publish it. They're great.
Heck yeah. So Chaz, man, we had a blast, dude. That was a good time, right? You got to do some different things. You got to check out the DELCO, and we experienced a couple crazy things when we were investigating too, right?
We got to experience a lot of crazy things.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely a night for the ages. It was a really bizarre kind of event. A really eclectic group of people that stayed for the investigation.
That's for sure.
Characters.
Chaz is bilingual, by the way. You'll find out later.
Más o menos.
Yeah, well, you're speaking. They were saying you're speaking some type of Native American language that night.
That wasn't me, I don't think, unless it was through the DELCO.
That was you. Yeah, it was through the DELCO. I don't know. Maybe you're like on. Maybe there's a reservation around there. You picked up a station, or I don't know.
There was also I think there was another language too that was being spoken that night too. It was a reptilian. Right?
Oh, that was my favorite part of the evening.
Oh, that was a blast. Yeah. That lady. What's her name? Do you know her name? I know she was on.
She's actually very, very nice.
She is nice. Touch her ear off though.
She did the what was it? The Southwest Skunk Ape Fest. She hosted that in
really cool. Okay, cool. Be there.
Port Charlotte? I think it was
they have it every year.
One of those ones down south. I think it was Port Charlotte. She's an interesting lady. She has some psychic abilities. If you are inclined to those kind of things. But yeah,
we are.
The reptilian light language.
I don't know about reptoid.
Yeah, that was different.
I don't know. We're like sort of speechless. So since we're speechless right now,
yeah.
I got a little clip.
We'll show you what we're talking about.
Oh,
here we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Mikey. And what's this one?
Reptoid.
And can you explain it for people who don't know what that is?
It's a language from the reptoid race, alien race, that I channel.
Okay. 2, 3.
Komorkashitira bokoshitara sakanimi koshale. Hasimo koshiragito shutara bakati. Keshetara bokacha.
Okay, the hot one of the night, right? We know we got something on that one.
Couple. We got a response to it. So I think the ghost was like, "What the hell was that?"
Exactly. He got mad.
It was certainly bizarre. There was kind of a moment though, like where after she did it, there was a odd silence, and it would have been really good for
everyone. Kept a straight face.
Yeah, we're all like,
okay.
If I had more time, I would have put Connor's shot on there. He was like, didn't even flinch. I'm like just trying not to smile. I'm trying to be serious about it. I'm trying to be mature.
No, it's interesting though, and I do think I'm not necessarily convinced on the reptilian light language stuff, but I do think people like Phyllis are great, especially to have on an investigation, because
Oh yeah,
when you kind
she's
of
sweet
break,
too. She's like a sweet grandma.
yeah, well, when you kind of break the mood with something silly like that, it kind of helps, you know, when you have that like tension and everyone's a little awkward at the beginning, the phenomenon doesn't quite react the same. And then once you have something like that where we're all kind of like, okay, all right, kind of like,
let's go with it.
Yeah. So it was funny because like, not funny, but cool, more like it, but
intriguing.
Yeah, the whole night there was stuff going on. We had like mirrors set up, and we were doing
we were just kind
EVP
of rolling
sessions. With it. Yeah, and I think I forget.
You know what that reminds me of? Like,
Matt was seeing shadow figures. Like through the mirrors.
You know what that reminded me of? Like when you're playing it back on the recording and you hear her speaking like almost like in tongues. It reminds me of, like, you ever see that movie Evil Dead, the original one, and they're playing it back and like they're speaking in tongues through the tape. Like it's like, yeah. I was like, man, it's definitely creepy, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, she was speaking her language earlier during the day with me. I'm like, she was like cursing when
there's a couple of them. The reptilian light language isn't the only one. She's got a channeled languages, and again, I'm not sure where I land on the subject entirely.
Well, Mike was flying the drone inside the little theater area, and she didn't realize like what was happening, and it snuck up behind her, and she like freaked out and was speaking. It was like cursing and reptoid, and I'm like, what do you like?
Play that.
And I'm like, I was like, what language is that? Is that like Eastern European? It's like,
well, we should explain for the listeners. So the language, she had I guess she got into the video a little bit, but a reptilian protector spirit. And so I guess that's who she picked up the language from. She was probably just asking for help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Nah, maybe the spirits were pissed. Like it was scaring them away.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, good times, man.
I definitely like to investigate from that tulpa kind of thought form angle. So who am I to say she doesn't have a reptoid she's created to protect her and these kind of weird scenarios.
Definitely.
It's intriguing.
Yeah.
A little bit silly, but hey, it's fun, and that's what we're there for. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were getting paranormal activities. That was pretty cool. Cat balls going off. The REM pod was going off at the bar, and I think also like on the stage there was a REM pod there, and it was going off.
Absolutely.
And then we were like in the corner section backstage, and we were seeing shadow figures. We had the mirrors set up, and we were getting pretty crazy EVPs. I'm gonna play a little clip.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
What's going on for early lights?
That's against the cloth. Where's the cloth?
Cloth's way back here.
There's like a shoulder. You see that though, right?
I do see that, but I think that's Eric.
Just shadows.
Listen.
Get out of the way. Right up. See, you can see the reflection of his camera screen right above it. Do you see that dark shape? Pretty trippy.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's not even my shadow either.
That's weird. Okay, so I'm not seeing any of you in the mirror. I'm just seeing that dark shadow. And like the blue-gray cloth. I see the curtain.
Yeah. I'm very agile.
That's weird.
So we were having a good old time.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of the more bizarre things. Though with the mirrors, again, it's one of those.
Whose idea was that? I don't remember. I was like focused on setting things up.
I pitched that. Once I saw a bunch of those mirrors standing up, I was like, oh, we gotta like do the whole vortex thing.
Yeah,
Which is a common practice. And again, once you put one of those infinite mirrors somewhere and you stare long enough, you're going to start to see some stuff. Now, whether that's your subconscious or not, who knows? But that was for sure one of the more distinguished humanoid shapes I've seen in one of those before. And it was kind of like peering around the corner.
Next time we have to do laser and smoke.
Yeah, get really crazy with it. I just bought a thing at Walmart yesterday. It's like a cactus with a light and a mirror, and it has that infinite.
Oh yeah, the infinity mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool as hell. But yeah, you can get lost staring at those for sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we had like a few more clips I wanted to show there of the EVPs, and then we're gonna go to like after the midway mark of the show, we're gonna talk about the grand finale of the night that we did. We did the dueling experiment, which was never done before, and it was really cool. So
it was cool.
So yeah, that I don't know why, but like I don't know whose idea it was to go like back in that corner of that stage, but I felt like I was drawn to it for some reason. And there's like crazy stuff was happening there. So there's some EVPs that we got.
Yes. Yes, I am.
That's wild, right?
Well, that's
You guys heard how quiet
I could make out some
like a
parts, like
conversation,
out, maybe get out.
It's got
We're not getting out.
the tonal up and downs of a conversation.
Right. You can hear the
Someone
vocal
speaking,
tone, right?
yeah.
Yours was fire. That's the second one. I'm a soldier. Dude, play that again.
He said, "Get out of here" at the end. Listen.
Get
A lot of activity on this.
Listen again.
Yeah.
Wow, look at it.
There's like a get out and almost like here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if we can build off that. Right. To prove that this is somebody intelligent, hold it still. Can you make that light up right now for us? Maybe to yellow or something like that. Oh, thank you. How about now? Can you make it go to red for us?
Hold it to red like you did before.
No? Okay, what about one of the other devices? Do you like those? We also have the REM pod way over there. We can hear it.
In the middle of the
There it
stage
goes.
too.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Did it go off?
Yeah. No, that's
Oh, it went red.
spiking.
Yeah, that was Franny's recorder was really hot that night for some reason in that area, but then mine was like really getting a lot of stuff over there by the river, and we're going to talk about that later. But
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I missed out on the river side of things.
It was definitely spooky. You know, that's for
I'm
sure.
it
yeah,
was. I didn't have the proper
Attire.
well, Stacy said there's like a 13-foot alligator out there.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. It's Florida. There's other monsters than Bigfoot that'll get you.
Yeah, that's what scares me the most. I mean, you gotta one of these days you're gonna have to come down here and go to Aerojet with us. It's in the middle of the Everglades, and we gotta watch out for pythons. I found out about that location because I was watching a TV show on python hunters, and that's like a hot spot to look for pythons. But then they were saying that there was paranormal stuff going there that's haunted. So
Really
I'm like,
interesting.
I gotta check that out, and it sure enough is haunted.
Well, I've
We gotta
been
take you there.
getting into a bunch of research in Southern Africa relating to giant snakes and UFOs. So there's something to that. There's something to that.
Well, we
snake
got a big problem.
motif.
We got a big python problem out there.
Yeah, are they still paying people by the foot for
Yeah, they are.
pythons they bring in? Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, when we went in there one time, like there's a gate that's locked, and the only way to get through it is either walk or with a bike. And so here we are with our bikes, and we had like these like beach carts with all our equipment in it. But not just our equipment, like, you know, like the toolbox in the beach cart, and then we tied a rope to the handle and then to the back of the seat and towed it 3 miles. And we're like we're pulling up to the gate, and these guys in the truck come in, these Python hunter guys, and they're like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, we're just out here, like, we're just filming a little something. That's all.
We were just about to ask you the same thing.
Exactly. Should have hitched a ride. I don't know why I didn't ask them, but we had Ernesto there, and he had to borrow a bike, and it was like a girl's bike with a white basket and yellow flowers on it. So that made it seem really weird. Like, what are you guys doing here? You know? So, yeah. But I'm gonna play one more clip from that night, and then we'll continue talking about that place is cool. I can't wait to go back there.
Heck yeah,
that's for sure. But I do have one more video of that place. Here we go.
Is that a laugh?
I think
no, something dropped.
Oh,
that was me. My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
Chaz! Damn it.
My bad.
So, he did Japanese. He didn't get anything. This one's Japanese. Let's see if this one does something.
So we're here out of respect. We want to communicate with you. We want to learn about you and the history of this place. How do you feel about that? Talking that red light, the light can hear what you're saying. That's
Good idea.
are you making that light up? Go to red.
Whoa.
That's the light in your hand. Are you making that light up?
Yes, I am.
Go to red. I have a question for you too. That's the light in your hand. Are you making that light up? Go to red.
Something like that, right?
The light in your hand. Are you making that light up? Go to red.
Sounds like it's like blowing into the microphone. Like it's so loud. Like that's crazy.
I had to replace the speaker in this
while
one.
you guys were playing that back, Connor, did you move at all? Like, did you move back at all? Because on that, from my position, that would be like the mirror, the third mirror right there in the middle. I've seen a shadow move across the wall that way in the reflection.
Nothing more than this, that's for sure.
That's
you know,
and partner mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got to start bringing mirrors to our investigations. That was pretty cool. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Spooky little corner. So like that, just to set the scene, like for the people that are listening or the people that are watching, like that little area is like, you know, there's a bunch of mirrors there so you can get ready before you go on stage or before you like perform. Like it's like the
a lot of rock bands play there. Ernesto played there with this band Modern Mimes.
Yeah, exactly. So that it's a little area like off to the side of the stage where you can get ready before you perform. And that's where we were all crammed into.
Yeah. So then, you know, after that, we did a DELCO in front of the group of people there. There's like a VIP paranormal investigation event. They had a thing during the day and the thing at night. People had the choice of either going on a Bigfoot hunt with Stacy, but you know the DELCO was rocking. So like Stacy was like, you know what? I think I want to just like hang out here and check out this DELCO thing. And
yeah, they went
like,
for a little while, and
hit.
then we were supposed to have like two groups, right? And like one goes out and does the Bigfoot thing, and then one stays does the paranormal, and then we rotate. But after they went out and they came back, everybody was like, "It's a little late. Like, let's stay here and see what's going on." So you know, some folks did get to go, and some folks stayed.
Well,
and
I had to stay so I could get a crack at that DELCO.
Yeah, man. And I want to hear about that. I want to hear about your experience with it. You know, so what we ended up doing, I don't know if you want to get into this part of it or the second part of the show, Eric. Do you want to?
Yeah, we could start it out. Like, Mike, tell everyone like how this all came about. Like, okay, like what we did. We're talking about the DELCO, but what did we do that was different
that night?
Yeah, dueling DELCOs.
Yeah, yes. No, okay. I didn't know if you meant like if you wanted me to explain the DELCO. So basically, just real quick, anybody that's listening that hasn't heard about this experiment, something that we came up with here at the team and we've been testing, And, you know, it's basically a cross between the Ganzfeld experiment, which is what they used to use to test ESP. And they would cut ping pong balls in half and put them over your eyes and shine a red light. So it's extra sensory deprivation. And you would listen to white noise, and you would, you know, people would start to see things and hear stuff because it's, you know, you're fully, your sensory is just overloaded. And then, you know, the Estes method, you're listening to a spirit box with headphones with a blindfold on. So what we did is we kind of mixed the two, and to make it into like a portable device, I custom made some goggles that you can bring out in the field to try this. And so basically you listen to a spirit box with the red lights covering your eyes, and we call it the DELCO experiment. And what we decided to do that night, because we had a bunch of different investigators and everything, and everybody was like, we were coming up with different ideas and trying different stuff.
Oh, we were doing it. It was sort of like a comedian act. Like, I don't know why, but I was just like saying stuff like regarding you that was sort of funny. But
yeah, no, it was funny, right? Because
that's coming in a YouTube video soon, so stay tuned.
Yeah, whatever Eric was channeling or whatever was coming through was like just busting my balls the whole time. It was funny, man. He was like, Mike's sweaty, and I'm like, I am kind of sweaty. And you know, it was wild. So we ended up doing a dual DELCO, right? So Chaz did one in the bar area, and then we went out into the woods, on the river. And then what we did is we called each other on like FaceTime. So while we were down there, and we did two at the same time, but then live between each other.
Dueling DELCOs.
Dueling DELCOs.
Yep. And we got some interesting stuff, but we're at like close to that halfway point where we do a little service announcement for everybody.
It is. Yeah, let's run that deal.
All right. So remember, people, we're still running at the end of this month. You'll be able to win a $50 gift certificate. Try to say that real fast. Exactly. For the Ghost Hunter store. Listening, Chaz, you could buy something there. You can get you could probably get like 10 cat balls.
I need more cat balls.
Yeah, and everyone. So yeah, Christmas will be over, but for those people that you forgot to give a gift, maybe that might be a good reason to try to enter this contest. And we're gonna play the video real quick, and then Mike's gonna go in the details.
All right.
What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com.
Peace.
All right, guys. So all you got to do is, just like every episode, if you go ahead and drop the secret code word, which today it's going to be Warrior. If you go ahead and put Warrior in the comments to our YouTube channel, not in the live chat, but the actual comments to this video once it gets posted, and you will be entered to win a $50 gift card at the end of the month, at the beginning of next month. And yeah, and also if you go there now and you're checking out at the ghosthunterstore.com and you put in the code Ghost Gone Wild, you'll get an extra discount off of your purchase. So they don't only have paranormal equipment, they have metaphysical stuff, they have a bunch of different stuff. It's your one-stop shop. These guys are awesome. Their customer service is fantastic. You can actually just message them on Facebook Messenger. They'll send you a tracking number. You communicate with them about your order. They're really good. Customer service is not
Dave
bad.
is awesome. He's coming on the show
Yeah, Dave is also a paranormal investigator, the owner, him and his wife.
Demonologist.
And he is a demonologist as well. And he's worked with Johnny Zaffis and some of the other people up there in New Jersey, Connecticut area. And he's going to be coming on the show here shortly. So hopefully that'll be a good one for you guys. So stay tuned for that.
Yep. 2023 is going to be big.
Heck yeah, brother.
Yeah. This is only our first year. Like, I don't even know what
we just hit a year, I think, right around now, somewhere.
Oh, really?
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We should have a little celebration thing. I wasn't even thinking about that.
We'll see. We'll check it. We'll look at the dates.
We'll get like 10 people on the show.
Load it up.
We'll celebrate.
Crash the server.
Yeah, definitely. So, by the way, everybody's a winner with the ghost hunting store because you can still get get some money. If you don't win the Ghost Gone Wild thingy, you can always put, and what's the code for that for a discount on any purchase?
Oh, it's a Ghost Gone Wild, all one word. If you put that in there at your checkout, you will be entered to no, I'm sorry, you will actually just get a discount off your purchase. So it's Ghost Gone Wild.
Everybody's a winner. There are no losers in this show.
No losers in this show.
For sure. So anyway, going back to the Delco.
Yeah, it was. So that was my first time trying the DELCO experiment. I was very intrigued.
So what were your thoughts when you were first seeing us do it? And we were like telling you about like what goes down, and then we did it. Like,
well, I've been familiar with the Gansfeld experiment. There's actually a guy who does a great podcast where they do live Gansfeld sessions.
Yeah, he comes on the show every now and again.
I've had him do one where we're in different parts of the country and I ask him questions and I've gotten some weird responses. Questions about cases that I'm working on and information literally no one else would know. It's such obscure random stuff. And he's strapped into some headphones and some goggles and shit. He can't hear me. And so I was intrigued. When I investigate, I use a lot of consciousness altering methods.
You're sensitive, right? You like have sort of like a medium.
I have what the law would consider a drug addiction.
It heightens your senses.
Yeah, but I consider it a shamanistic path.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, no, I that's kind of what my research has become associated with, is doing some semi-controversial psychedelic experiments.
Okay.
So
I mean, you like shamanism?
Using magic mushrooms and mind-altering substances.
And folks, that's why he's from Gainesville.
Not originally.
Everyone knows Gainesville.
Minnesota. Give me my
okay.
I moved a couple hours north. But when I was living in Mexico and traveling in South America and stuff, I've been to Chichen Itza. A couple of these different methods at UFO hotspots, haunted locations, and conducted a variety of experiments that definitely led me to, believe that something more consciousness based is going on when it comes to paranormal phenomena.
I agree with that 100%.
And so things, when I see the Estes method and the DELCO experiment, I'm like, hell yeah, those are definitely steps in that direction. And they're accessible to everyone, right? For legal reasons, I've never done any of these experiments in the state of Florida.
All right.
Legal reasons. But, my point being, these experiments are definitely restricted depending on access and location and things like that. But the DELCO and stuff is something everyone can, access.
Yeah, exactly. And what is it? I always forget to pronounce it correctly. Binaural beats.
Binaural, yeah.
And you could use the goggles for that as well, right? Because that's a way of you could almost mimic certain mind altering substances with frequency. And that we can get down a totally weird path with this and just kind of go on for forever. But you know, and there's I forget the name. I wish I knew the name of the experiment, but they basically did an experiment. I'm sure you're familiar with this, right? Where they shot particles and atoms at 2 slits in a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. The slit experiment, yeah.
Yeah, and the photons were only reacting a certain way when they were being observed, either by camera or by a human being. And then when they were not being observed, they totally worked in a different state and didn't really have a purpose, right? It was random.
It was the particles, and so this is one of those CERN Hadron Collider type deals. And again, there's a lot of math and science that I'm not going to pretend I'm qualified enough to explain.
Yeah, somebody smarter than me told the story a lot better. But
the short end of it is that when the particles aren't observed, it's reading as if these quantum computers are showing that it's in both of the slits at the same time. And the second it's observed, it exists in one of the slits. And so it shows that there is this effect the observance has on reality.
Yeah, it's basically a scientific proven that consciousness is altering the state of a physical particle,
right?
But they won't say it that way, but that's kind of what it's alluding to, correct?
Well, the problem is it's only provable with the tiniest particles known to man. We don't know if it affects larger systems. But then that gets into how large is a particle? Is a particle enough to be consciousness? You know, what's the they say the 28 grams, that's the weight of the human soul. That's how much weight leaves the body at the moment of death. But that's disputed in scientific circles. Again, like most of this stuff. But on the whole, I think there is this shifting towards a recognition of like biocentrism, that there is a key element of human, or not even human, but life observing reality is part of what makes it. And this has been known in ESP experiments for a long time. And, you know,
and that's what the Ganzfeld was, and that's how we kind of got down this rabbit hole, right? Is the Ganzfeld was basically the test ESP and the test subconsciousness and things of that nature. And then by mixing it with the spirit box, you know, it just basically takes things to a different level. Now, when you did the experiment, how did you feel? Like, tell us what you thought about it.
Did you see any visuals or anything like that?
So I didn't get as many intense visuals as I would hoped. But it definitely, the effect on the eyes was definitely very similar to.
You had the lights flashing?
Yeah, I had them flashing.
Okay. You know what? I found out they're better when they're just lit, because I tried both.
Solid.
Yeah, solid.
I found after a while it was similar to not necessarily a substance-based experience, but more like a deep meditation. Like if you've been sitting and meditating for like 2 hours.
You got to roll with it.
You kind of get this, you kind of even get that light, dull orange kind of tinge behind your eyes if you just keep them closed but open, you know what I mean? Where you're still awake and aware, looking at the back of your eyelids. It starts to look like that after a while. And so it did kind of get into that.
Stacey felt like he got touched.
That state. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't quite feel like I got that deep where I was feeling anything.
And that's why I feel like it also depends on the person. And it also depends on your atmosphere too, right? If you're not, like, you have to be comfortable, you have to be like, you have to let yourself get into that state. And I think this just speeds it up.
You got to open up your mind.
Right.
Is it possible to do the same with an Estes method? Yeah, but you'd have to be like probably trained in meditation, you know, to get there. You know, this kind of speeds it up and helps somebody get into a meditative state. But yeah, no, for sure. And you know, I'm a really big believer in that the human consciousness has definitely a lot to do with the paranormal. You know, and we were going to try that I think that's how we kind of came up with doing this experiment. Like, let's do it in 2 different locations.
Mhm.
I want to do it again like that live, like in 2 different areas, like far apart, like just and see if there's a connection between.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that always just really blew my mind, and I want to know if I just want to ask Chaz about this because I know that you're, you do a lot of research and different things. What supposedly right before the 9/11 tragedy, there was like, they have a random number generator that just kind of flows that they watch all the time.
Yeah.
And didn't it kind of sync up like right before?
So that is definitely out there. I don't know again how reliable that is when it comes to those conspiracy theories. But there is this notion that random number generators, and then of course you have things like The Simpsons and all this stuff. And the idea there is that time, of course, is non-linear. So any massive event, obviously it leaves things into the future. We can see, 9/11 led to wars and political conflict and yada yada. Again, not trying to not get too political. Towing a line here.
Nostradamus.
Ron DeSantis, don't arrest me, please. We can see those forward effects pretty clearly, but the idea with the random number generators and The Simpsons and these other things is that there's a backwards ripple as well, especially if it's something as cataclysmic or important as an event like that. And again, you see those other weird examples. There's that whole bizarre book, The Last President, where it kind of described Donald Trump becoming president, and it said the guy who was elected put his address in New York, and it's Trump Tower nowadays, and it's a whole weird saga. Again, part of the research, the reason paranormal and conspiracy research kind of attached to that is so much fun is because it is fun. The stories are really, really good. Yeah. But it's always important not to get wrapped up in the stories too much. But with the random number generators, I think it's really intriguing because that ties back to those ESP experiments. There was a big burst of those in the 80s. Psychic kids in China and Russia, and then experiments by universities here in the US. And one of the most intriguing was the random number generators. And so essentially the experiment's really simple. You'd have a person sit there and think even number, even number, even number, even number, and see how much that would influence the random number generator, right? It's random, so it should be 50-50, evens, odds. But they found with these people really thinking hard about evens that there was 11% chance more likely to be even, which is significantly higher than your typical 50-50 odds is whatever 66-44. So it proves there's something there higher than chance. But the problem was when skeptical investigators went in to recreate this experiment. They didn't believe it. They said nonsense, totally fake. They set up these same exact experiments, and these people were thinking even. They started getting odds more often. They got 11% odds because the conductors of the experiment were influencing the experiment with their ESP. Because essentially what it showed is that it wasn't one person's ESP affecting these random number generators. It was everyone involved. Yes. So that kind of put a halt on ESP research. And it's the same problem they're having with quantum research is, okay, we know observing it affects it, but we're observers. So how can we test it objectively? How can we test it without messing up the experiment entirely? And again, they don't have an answer. And that's really why ESP research has kind of reached this screeching halt afterwards, and why quantum research might not be the best investment because it's going to be tough. Now, quantum stuff has the advantage of quantum computers, and that's exactly where it gets to the point where I don't understand it. I've had a million people explain it to me, but I still something science magic. But the idea is that we can create computers that will create a observable scenario without an observer. It'll take out that human portion.
Factor, yeah.
Are you like a professor at the University of Florida?
No, I hope.
Asking.
I've been writing them emails saying, "Give me a ufology job. You could be the first university with a ufologist." Like,
throw paranormal in there as well.
Major. Yeah, it could be an elective, but kids can sign up. Come on.
Hey, there's basket weaving, right?
Right. Higher.
What's the difference? I know. I won't even ask for that much money.
Yeah, it's weird stuff. And obviously, if we can, I enjoy extending all of these concepts to the paranormal, because I think in that weird 11%, that's where we're going to find that answer. And somehow we're influencing this phenomenon. It's using us to get here. And that's not to say it's all in your head, blah, blah, blah. It's to say it's kind of in your head. Obviously, something physical is going on, right? Bigfoot's leaving footprints, right? Ghosts are leaving EVPs and moving glasses and stacking chairs and like crazy poltergeist cases.
Even when I see stuff, I don't believe it. Like my mind can't register it. Like there's got to be an explanation for that. And then like a few days later, it hits me, and I'm like, wow, that really did happen,
because that's what's taught into us, right? As children, right? It's like here's your thing.
Mind gets polluted the older you get.
Here's your textbooks. This is what you know. This is what you're gonna learn. We're gonna condition you to wake up every morning and go to school, because that was designed to condition people to work, right? So like right out the womb, you're being conditioned. Don't listen to that. That's bullshit. You're having a scary.
Well, that's why children have so many experiences with paranormal.
Yeah, because they're not fully brainwashed at that point. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why when I see something, I'm like, that did not just happen. Like, what the heck?
For sure. For sure.
By the way, we're real quick. I hate to make this announcement, but we gotta do a little compliance thing, right quick, don't we, Mike?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, excuse me. So anybody that's listening on the KGRA digital broadcasting side of things, we're going to be moving on to the next show here in about 10 minutes. So you guys will be able to listen to the next show coming up after us. And we appreciate you guys for listening. If you want to jump on and continue listening to what Eric and Chaz and I have to say, you can jump on over to our YouTube channel at War Party Paranormal YouTube. And we'll be here chatting it up. And we appreciate it.
It's going to be mind-blowing.
And there's a lot of other good channels. Other good shows on the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. You got ufology stuff. You got Bigfoot. You got a lot of different stuff going on there. So definitely check them out. Some other paranormal shows. And we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we do.
So.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, all right, cool. So
on the radio. I think I slipped up and said a bad word earlier. I apologize.
That's okay.
And sponsors.
Well, now we're in the open market, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think
it's uncensored.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get edgy. So if anyone wants to hear that, go to the YouTube.
We got 10 minutes, and then we can get
weird. Okay.
We get real weird.
That's why I had to bleep out the earlier video. But like once we get to a certain point, then it doesn't matter. It's a free for all.
It was good. I should have brought my own beeper. That's my bad.
Ooh, that would have been cool. Like he had like a horn, and like right when it came.
All right. Yep. Exactly.
That's what we need. About DELCO, weren't we?
Yeah, but that's what we need, right? We need like a it's all clear buzzer. All right. Why is that looping? Okay. All right.
Or you should have it like a random like spirit box.
That would be perfect. Yeah, definitely. So anyway.
So the DELCO, I definitely think, again, when it comes to that ESP factor, I think that's one of those ways to tap into it.
Well, I'm gonna play a clip, and you're gonna see like what Stacy was going through, but then you can hear your comments coming through the phone because we were like,
hell yeah.
because RPG I believe was asking the questions, and Mike was asking the questions, and then you could hear it because you were like on FaceTime on speaker, so you could hear you saying stuff in the background, and then the people in the background saying comments on what you said, and then like now you'll be able to see what
Yeah, you get to see it from a totally different perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I haven't seen this.
Not red.
Let's roll this.
Let's do it.
Earpiece?
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta like try to put you like in a little trance for a little bit.
Okay.
And he's gonna tap you on the knee when we get started.
Right on.
I'm gonna hand you the spirit box after you put those on.
Don't fight it.
Okay.
Go with it.
Stacy, can you hear me?
What are we doing? Because RPG's just wandering the parking lot outside instead of coming in, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also heard Rich.
Yep.
Does Chaz have the goggles on?
Does Chaz have the goggles on?
Goggles on. He's hearing static at the moment.
Holy shit. Holy shit. That was clear as day.
I'm not video. Hold on. I'm gonna start recording right now. Go.
That was clear. That was not static at all.
Oh, just heard my name.
So I want to show everyone how we were setting up, and so what we were doing was, I guess we let them like go under for like 15 minutes, and RPG said the REM pod kept on going off while you were doing it in the bar, but what I kept doing is I kept on running up the recorder like right up in Stacy's face and let it record while we were quiet, and I got that one part. Holy shit! Like that was like crazy. That's like one of the craziest EVPs I ever got. That was like clear as day. So yeah,
they're probably like, holy shit, look at this guy with the beard and the goggles. He looks like
I know.
What the hell are they gonna do to us?
Exactly. So I got another clip here I want to play.
Do it. What are we doing, Eric?
We got Bigfoot Stacy over here. Gonna be the sacrificial lamb for the Delco out here by the river where Bigfoots frequent.
And they've saw apparitions of Native Americans as well. There's been reports. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah, for sure. All up here, up to the tiki area, even in front of the bar, but mainly down here.
And we're War Party Paranormal with Chief Whoopin' Ass, so we're part of the tribe.
So we got War Party out here. We got OutKast Paranormal.
Yep.
Supernatural Spectrum.
And we got Matt, Supernatural Spectrum.
What's up, guys?
We got some guests out here.
Are you live?
They're here witnessing. No. We got Big
Are
Rich
you live?
And
we're gonna do this thing.
We're gonna slap the Delco goggles on them with the spirit box, and we're gonna see what happens. You can see back here we got the river.
See a gator floating behind you.
And,
there is a 13-footer.
Any red eyes?
Just to let you know.
Just to make sure.
Is the warrior
anything like this?
Okay, cool.
So
we haven't either.
Yeah, I'm kind of. We've done the multiple places, one person asking questions, kind of thing before, but never with the goggles. I'm really interested to see what that does.
All right, sweet. So let's get her done.
Let's get an attachment.
That's all we can ask.
Fucking harem of attachments that I'm trying to gain.
My boy said, "Let's get an attachment."
Right? Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. So
having a Bigfoot attached isn't too bad. He's not going to come in the home. You leave a jar of peanut butter out by the woods.
Yeah, definitely. So I had another video that I forgot to upload. My bad. Yeah.
Go for it. We'll just shoot the shit. So
all right, I'm gonna look for it.
Right, guys. As we were doing that part down by the river, Chris Farley reference there. Chaz was inside getting ready, doing the same thing. He was getting the goggles on with RPG in the where were you guys? Like in the back area by the pool tables in the bar?
Yeah, in the bar area, they had a second stage there, and so I was up on the stage, sitting away from the crowd, so I couldn't hear them too well. And then it was bizarre. The spirit box had to. I think I was singing Men Down Under for a couple minutes until we got the spirit box tuned.
To start sweeping. Yeah.
But after that, no, it was weird. It definitely was a lot of static, and I think because it was my first time, I wasn't too sure whether I was hearing things or not. I think maybe some practice is involved, and I don't typically use a spirit box in my investigations. With or without ear muffs, either way, I don't use it typically. So I wasn't quite too used to that aspect of it. But I definitely think it was intriguing, especially they had my partner. She was asking me a couple questions from the crowd about our dog. She was like, I don't know what to ask. She's very skeptical. She doesn't believe in these kind of things. So she was like, I don't know. How's the dog doing at home? And that was the one time I did have some visuals where I said in the thing, I see some fur. I see like some fur in the thing. So yeah, again, into that ESP thing. I think there's a strong connection there. So that
that was your partner that was saying that, right? So you guys, so that kind of shows too, like.
You guys were looking for Bigfoot out there at the same time, so the fur could have been coming from somewhere else.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I don't know the whole story, like why we were there in that specific area, but it wasn't far. Like, we walked down through the woods about a quarter mile, and then there was like we had a chair set up there, and we kind of just chilled there. But yeah, so I don't know if Eric's going to show this or not, but I'm going to talk about it. I
got
guess.
it. Yep, I got it.
Do you want me to wait until you play the clip, or you want me to talk about it?
No, go ahead. The weirdest thing about that whole thing was he was talking. I mean, Bigfoot Stacy was talking about fishing, and then later on, we looked down on our feet, and there's like fish hooks there.
No, so what happened? The way that I remember it, and then if you have a clip or whatever, I started asking a question about fishing because we're on the river. I'm like, did you fish or like whatever? And there was some stuff coming back relating to that. And then you in the bar coming through the live said hooks. And then I don't know which one of us realized it. We looked down and there was a pack of like hooks on the shore from somebody else previously left them there that were sitting right like next to Stacy's foot. So bizarre. Like that was pretty mind blowing, right? Like we're talking about fishing, then you say hooks in the other area, and then we look down and there's a pack of hooks. So that was pretty strange. It could be a coincidence, but definitely pretty wild.
Oh yeah, that's pretty weird.
Definitely weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
got that video too.
And so those, again, that's very similar to like the synchronistic kind of stuff that happens when you're doing a trippy investigation, when you're taking a substance. A lot of times you'll have like a really bizarre coincidence like that. So yeah, no, I think that's I hadn't heard that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was wild, right? And that's the other cool thing. Like I should ask you too, Eric. Are you still uploading that video?
No, it's ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rock it.
Let's rock it. Here we go. My apologies.
Scare me or scary?
What's so scary? What are you scared of?
I would. All in your head. Just visit.
Just visit? Where are you from? Are you from Florida?
Where are you from, yo? From Florida?
Here.
Here? You're here?
We're here.
We're here. Hurricane. Does that mean anything to you? Hurricane?
Tree.
What's without power?
Something about power.
With me.
Yes.
Who's with you? How do I flip the camera on? There we go.
Did y'all hear like a... There's no way y'all heard that shit.
Sounds like a language I can't quite understand. Is he hearing a foreign language?
He said
If we heard that.
he asked if we heard something strange.
Everywhere.
What are you hearing?
Everywhere, he said.
Is it Native American?
I don't know if I'm supposed to be, but like I'm seeing lights. Like maybe you're shining the lasers in my face or something.
Nope.
Yes.
IR light? Maybe that light?
Can we communicate with this?
You should know that.
What should we know?
Follow me. Let go.
By the way, Stacy was going to be on the show, but at this moment, he's in Waverly investigating. Lucky bastard.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, but
with the foreign languages, that was weird.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
And then he said that he thought someone was like shining lasers in his eyes. So that was really odd.
I was having some weird eye flashes. Like again, mine was on the flashy setting, so I'm not quite sure that wasn't just some of that burning in there. A little
Right.
bit.
But then you heard RPG like saying like he's speaking some type of Native American language.
Yeah, no, it was weird. It was pretty bizarre. I had a fellow investigator had a similar experience when I was in Chile at a UFO hotspot, and we were doing an LSD experiment. We're off the air now. I can get
Put the children away, everybody.
Yeah.
We're good. I could. Yeah, the government.
The children are in bed right now.
All right, great. And she was hearing like this alien kind of like chattering, bizarre voice, and she thought it was unhuman, unhuman, either way. And yeah, that was kind of again, it was bizarre hearing that in the headphones there.
Right.
I think there's something to that. Again, we laughed at the beginning of the show at the reptilian light language, but it wasn't too far off.
You should have had that lady do it. She would have been speaking all kinds of crazy stuff.
She did a session at the very end.
Oh, that's right. She didn't even say anything. She sat there the whole time.
Yeah, she did some.
I could hear stuff coming out of her headphones, but she wouldn't say anything. She wasn't repeating the words.
Yeah, she was doing her own thing.
She was going into a different dimension with the reptoids.
I'm jealous, man. See, I need assistance to get there.
I would love to just witness like that kind of investigation. Like I'm not into doing any of that stuff, but I'm not opposed to it and I'm not against it. I just don't do it. But I would love to witness it and like film it and like see what goes on like on that, because I'm super curious about all those different types of things as well, like the human consciousness and how different substances and psychedelics and everything affect the human brain and like how it, and I would love to just be a part of that and like witness it, film it, and put something together. But that to me is
let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Because like that whole thing blows my mind too about like DMT. And like DMT is a natural substance that comes from the human brain, and the people are taking doses of this stuff, and they all report seeing very similar things, like seeing entities, like a couple of them at a time that come to them and talk to them and different things. And like, why is this? How could this be the same experience for so many people across the board? And that's a question that I have for you, actually. I mean, have you familiar with this or heard about this, or am I full of shit, or what's going on?
I'm well researched in the DMT trips. I haven't partaken myself.
Well, that dude RPG, he did it at and they had that on Amazon Prime. The skunk ape experiments. They were at
he
this
was
museum.
doing some mushrooms in that one. Yeah. And that's what I was gonna say. I'd love to do a Delco with a little bit of that.
Our co-founder right here, Scotty Burns, was doing that in the 70s.
That was the prime time to be doing it. Now you got to be careful and double check what you're getting. It's all sketchy times. But I do think it's an avenue that more and more researchers are exploring, because I think people are finding that it's leading to more physical stuff than anticipated. And my experience with it, the reason I kind of veered my research that way was I was doing mushroom tea and Ouija board experiments. And I was doing them on a repeated basis, like every other weekend, which wasn't good for my health. You shouldn't take substances that often repeatedly. You need like a good 4 to 6 month break between trips. Children, take that if you're gonna do them. The experiment I did, it was, Ouija boards. I was really going from, and I had always kind of been from that perspective that, ghosts are ghosts, and then aliens are, probably from some planet over there, and then Bigfoot's like some monkey we just haven't discovered. And that was kind of the framework I had. And going into these experiments, and during the seances themselves, heavily tripping, nothing would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing would appear on the board. I wasn't seeing any figures. I wasn't catching any EVPs. I was recording all these, taking notes, the best you can in that state. But nothing. But the times in between the experiments, I started to see UFOs. And the first one was this light. It was in the sky. I was watching planes, and they were leaving their trails and stuff. They're all blinking, and this one isn't blinking.
I'm thinking of "Wheel in the Sky" by Journey. Like, I don't know.
Well, close. But this wheel in the sky suddenly burst and like exploded into several different objects. And I wasn't actively on any substances. This was right before an experiment. I was like, what the fuck was that? Mm-hmm. We're off the air. We're clear. Yeah. What the fuck was that?
Well, we get we get sightings down here a lot in South Florida.
Yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I was
a lot of the Tic Tac.
These objects, and I was dismissing them. And until one sighting, one night, I was sitting in the backyard with my buddy. I was telling him this, about my experiments, and he was doing what probably a lot of people listening are doing right now. Okay, dude, yeah, Ouija boards, mushrooms, UFOs. You've lost the plot. You fucking lost it. And I was like, all right, fair enough. When you say it like that, yes, it sounds pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. And almost ironically, at that point, we started to hear this metallic hum, and this black triangle craft just cruised right above us. It was really low, right above the tree line. I could have hit it with a rock.
And where's this?
Classic. It was in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
Classic black triangle shape, light in each corner. There's a blueprint floating around online. It's thought to be a secret U.S. craft. But in that moment, that felt entirely intentional. It was almost like a nod. Like I was laughing it off. I was like, yeah, no, it does seem ridiculous. I am probably wasting my time. And it was like, no, UFO, boom. And my buddy had never seen anything paranormal before, and to my knowledge, hasn't seen anything since. That was the strangest thing he's ever seen. And so that was kind of the moment where, it felt like acknowledgement. I was going into this experience like, all right, I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing the shaman thing. I'm on these substances. I'm trying different teas, different formulas. I'm going very scientific. I'm taking notes. I'm recording everything. Mm-hmm. And show me something paranormal. And I was like, oh, you think you're going to get something on that Ouija board? Here's a UFO. It really felt like it was intentionally shattering my reality.
Like that Ouija board ain't nothing. Watch this.
Right? I'm using it to roll my doobies right now.
Another one might be floating over your head soon.
I'm hoping. I'm waiting for them to come back. But no, and so again, I'm not necessarily sure that it is 100%, psychedelic when it comes to these subjects. I always entertain the human thing, especially with UFOs. I have this whole other side theory.
That's going to be my next background.
I'm writing a whole project about, there's this whole weird thing I've stumbled onto about how UFOs are human technology and they're based on the flight mechanics of insects. It's this whole bizarre rabbit hole.
I have a weird theory that I've always thought on when it comes to UFOs, right?
Yeah.
What if it's humans in the future?
They're warning
coming back to observe us, like in the past.
There's an idea that they're not only humans from the future, but they went down like a transhumanist apocalypse, and that's why they're like tall and gray and sexless.
Well, they almost did like a study, right? Like in AI, what humans would look like thousands of years from now. And everybody was just gray and skinny with a big head because, the more technology, the less physical shit we had to do. And so your body would eventually
deteriorate. And so the idea is that's why they're so like obsessed with our fluids and eggs and stuff. That's why they come back and molest, is to gather fluids so they can like redevelop themselves back to normal humans.
Right, because and if you look at UFO stuff, right, like, and you look at all the sightings and where they are and where they are relevant to, and a lot of them, and like the big stuff is a lot of times it's around military bases, which could be them testing stuff, or it could be them observe, like us in the future coming back and observing stuff at a certain point in time and checking out our military and looking what we did and how we did things. And one of, even like in the was it the Jesus, actually it was a picture of Jesus, but there was like a UFO
in the corner,
and it was purposely put there. They zoomed in and it was like painted there. It was like a little UFO. But like, why would UFOs come back to be in all these certain specific time periods where there was big events, like, right? Like if you had a time machine, like you're not going to go back to like a Wednesday when I'm eating like a McDonald's in my car and check that out. Like that's not exciting. Like you're gonna want to go back to like a big point when there was something happening. You know what I mean?
That is the biggest knock against, I think, the human explanation for the UFOs is that it's pretty clear through studying the history that the phenomenon has been with humans for much longer than airplanes or anything like that. It goes back way further than World War II.
Mayan, Egyptian.
Well, it even goes back to the first civilization. If you look at the ancient Sumerians, which were the first civilization basically to have like written text, and they had the whole solar system mapped out, even with Pluto, and we didn't even discover Pluto until like the 80s or something.
Right. And so that gets into the whole controversial Graham Hancock. What's the TV show? Something Apocalypse. That's a whole crazy rabbit hole. But the concept that UFOs showed up at World War II, and that was the genesis. There was definitely an uptick during, and after World War II.
Well, they've been talking about a lot of sightings right now in Ukraine.
Yeah, they certainly crowd around war zones, and again, probably a lot of those are experimental drones. There's this idea that so I guess we're going to get into it now. The B theory, this idea that so let me start at the beginning. I was in Morocco. I was backpacking, and at this point my paranormal stuff was just like a little blog I wrote, like a WordPress thing. But, I still did it as a hobby. I would go to any weird place, anyone told me about and go there, check it out, write about it. And someone told me I had to meet this dude. They knew the perfect guy for me to go and talk to. And so we set up this meeting at this roadside cafe. And this dude told me some wild shit. And the genesis of it was that he was the son of a CIA agent and that he knew a bunch of dudes who flew UFOs, that UFOs were based off of honeybees. They reverse engineered an anti-gravity chamber in the thorax, is what he said. And that's where UFO technology came from. And it's all the alien stuff is just psyops. And that was absolutely crazy. I didn't even write about it because I thought it was so out there crazy. And, he was a weird dude. He kind of had that like truth twitch, you know what I mean? Like you could see the white all the way around his eye. So
I'm still thinking about the bodily fluids. Like if you're a big person, like a big dude, like are you in trouble? Like
they're coming from my fluids.
Is that what they prefer? Like a big chunky dude?
They certainly aren't. Well, and here's the thing: is I have a whole other thing about if the aliens are aliens, they're horny. They're not scientists. They're just here because they're horny. I'm sure.
Earth women.
Well, we got proof of that. We got a reptoid. Experience.
Well, yeah, you have dozens of people saying they've had sexual encounters, consensual and non-consensual. And
apparitions as well.
We always jump to this. Oh, they're scientists, like humans, the most advanced humans who can travel to different planets. They're scientists, right?
They spread their flower all over the universe.
But that's only one species on a planet that has millions of species, right? We're the only one that does science, but almost all of the other ones, including us, get it on. You know what I mean? They have they're horny. And so,
but that's what any organism's goal is to
right.
to repopulate.
We're assuming that the aliens are here. If they were here for science, they'd only need like 3 or 4 vials of cum. They don't need to keep.
They don't need gallons.
Molesting people, right? We can duplicate sperm cells in a lab and shit. Like it's not rocket science. If they can travel here, they can do that. They're doing it for some other reason. They've got some other dirty, nasty motive.
Well, when I become reincarnated, I'm going to be a reptoid spreading my flower all over the universe.
They're dirty fuckers, man. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't trust them. But with the bee stuff, so this guy said that, and I thought it was crazy, but I wrote it in as like a little side in my first book. I was doing a chapter about Nazis and UFOs because I was in Chile. It was a whole thing. I'll get into that some other time. But I wrote it in like one little paragraph. Maybe the Nazis did have UFOs. After all, this one guy told me the answer is just bees. So if that's the truth, then yeah, sure, the Nazis could have figured it out. And one of the podcasts that read my book and had me on as a guest, they were like stunned at that paragraph because they had a close childhood friend whose dad worked in the military. They could never tell him like what they did. But all he would say is, I'm a Men in Black, like in the movies, like Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones. I'm a Men in Black. Mm-hmm. All they knew is something about UFOs and aliens or something. That's what he did.
That's Mike and I every Monday night.
And on his deathbed, they asked him for more information, like tell us about like what's going on. And all he would say was, think about bees. And so that was the only thing he would say. So when he read that paragraph, he was like, well, shit, that's probably what he was talking about. And since then, I've fallen down this rabbit hole of weird Russian scientists who have claimed to build their own UFOs. I got into this a little bit in my presentation at the North Florida ParaCon. But yeah, there's this guy who claimed to build this craft, and it causes all of this weird psychedelic side effects when you drive it, which again lines up with some of my other research. And ever since then, I've been getting weird articles from strange people all over the internet about invisible quantum fluids and all this bizarre stuff. But essentially, the idea is that it's not only bees, but every flying insect has this anti-gravity, this gravity negating effect. And you can physically take the wing flaps off these insects and construct them into these devices that will negate gravity. And it gets into some weird.
Well, that's like at Roswell when they found the material there. It said it was like weightless. It was like
right.
paper, metal paper, or like tissue or something like that.
Yes, kind of similar to the wing flaps of an insect. And when you start thinking about that ancient history, mystery kind of stuff, think about the scarab beetles in Egypt. If this is true, then scarab beetles would have that anti-gravity effect. And if the technology described...
We were talking about Journey. That's on their album cover.
Well, if it works as it's described, you could just slide some wing shells under one of these giant blocks. Theoretically, stitch them together and put them in the right format. And it would help. It would make these blocks lighter. You could lift a giant ton block with like 4 dudes on each corner. And so it gets into weird stuff here in Florida, the Coral Castle. There's that guy who supposedly built it with this
UFO technology.
Well, yeah, he said he discovered the secret of the pyramid, and the kids who said they saw him putting it together in the middle of the night, they described him using this weird cone shell-shaped device to like levitate the blocks. And in
actually a pulley system, like almost like how the Egyptians used.
Well, in Aztec mythology, Quetzalcoatl uses a shell filled with bees to trick the god of the underworld who sits atop a giant pyramid.
There's the bees.
And so there's these weird historical connections there. And
you know what's very strange, that this might not have anything to do with anything, but like scrolling through like TikTok the other day, I heard something and I just looked it up just now, and to reinforce and make sure it wasn't bullshit. But there was like a huge, like the latest study shows there was like a 25% drop in the insect population in the world just recently in recent findings.
Amazon game
in a similar uptick in UFOs. And again, is it a coincidence? Because if the technology works how it's described by these Russian scientists, you literally have to kill the insect and take the shells off of it. That's the easiest way to create this effect. So who knows? We're blaming everything on the bee population, air pollution, and all that stuff. It probably is. But the government might be stealing our bees to make UFOs.
When you put it like that,
it's a better story.
Mutant bugs. And labs.
But, and to completely do a 180 on the whole situation, because I know we're probably running out of time here soon, but the thing I always thought about too was, right, like, when we're doing EVP sessions and different things, maybe we're not communicating with spirits of the dead. Maybe we're communicating with or picking up from parallel universes, right? Like if there was, say, you're at a house and people passed away there and you think there's ghosts and we're doing EVP sessions, but in an alternate reality, these people are still alive and we're picking up their voices from another dimension, because if there's such things that they have
the movie The Others.
It would be similar to that, right? In a way. But imagine, like, they say that there's multiverses, right? Like when the Big Bang happened, it didn't only split off into the universe that we're in right now, but it split into multiple dimensions, infinite amount of dimensions, and there's quantum physics and different theories on this, but it's very probable. And what's to say that we're not accidentally picking up from other ones or bleed through?
So, and that's how I like to investigate, not necessarily from the view that it's a multiverse and it's coming from a different dimension, but I like to reduce it to closer to those terms instead of the traditional it's a dead person, something spooky is happening, so it's a dead person. like to address each piece of information as a piece of disincarnate information. I don't even like to use the word entity, because when you give it an entity, you give it sentience, you're giving it authority. And you can have people who believe in demons, no knocks against them necessarily, but they can, a weird noise in the night, it becomes a demon, and that weird noise can destroy their life because they give it this fuel, they feed into it, they give it the
that we help people, and a lot of the situations when we do an investigation where we're helping someone out, it runs into that a lot of times.
Well, yeah,
when it's really nothing.
So,
yeah, there's so many different cases. Like if you're a very paranoid person and you
last investigation.
Yeah. And you overthink stuff, or things of that nature too. It could definitely wear on your psyche, and it's proven that stress and panic and all these things have physical effects on your body and your mind and all these things. So, there's a lot of different things that can be evolved, and that's what he was saying, like in residential cases as well. That's a lot. That's what we do is
we don't discuss our private cases, but we got to tell you about it off air.
Yeah. We don't talk about it. We keep them confidential because then we want people to trust us, and we want them to allow us into their home.
I gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, we do find paranormal stuff. Don't get us wrong. We definitely come across a lot of paranormal. Once in a while, we come across stuff that's not.
And so
it's more mind.
Right. When looking at these things, we can recognize something's going on. Right. Something's happening, whether it's physically or psychically. And so it's a piece of physics or information that exists outside of human brain and outside of technology. It's not inside a computer, and it's not inside us. So it exists in some third unknown form. And if we could understand what that form is, that would crack open the thing. But we need to recognize that it exists in some form. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a dead pirate from the 1800s. Now, that information might line up to the information of a dead pirate from the 1800s.
And that's why we got to go to University of Florida and tell them that we need to do a place to do research.
Right?
And it's going to be breakthrough. We're going to need funding, and we'll teach.
Let's do it. I think we're more likely to give it to the UFO pitch than the ghost pitch, though.
I don't know why that is. Like, I don't know why they like. It's such a pseudoscience to them. Like they just turn their cheek when it comes to paranormal. But I did find through the Freedom of Information Act, after a lot of digging and a lot of cigarettes, a document talking about electronic voice phenomenon through the CIA, where they tried it in an isolated room and area, like in a static environment, and they did pick up human voice through a recording, and it was 100% human voice. And that was I have it somewhere, the file. But yeah, that was pretty cool. But like, that was the only thing. Like, and then you have parapsychology and all that stuff, but that's dismissed.
Carl Jung attributed all paranormal stuff, whether it was UFOs or stuff like ghosts and stuff, to the collective subconscious. He viewed it as a shared neural network between all human beings, and that these like archetypes lived there. There's the alien archetype, there's your Bigfoot archetype, and your ghost archetype. And honestly, that's a pretty productive and good way to look at
You ever read about Jack Parsons?
Oh yeah, big on Parsons. He was into the whole occult. So he got it though.
But this is a place This is the place we got to show you, because he was the director of Aerojet rocket facility, and that's the place that I was telling you about that we investigate. And people do satanic worship there, and there's like people find dead girls missing body.
Man. Exactly. Come on, Thelemic.
So what we're gonna do is there's another rocket facility in California, and we got a paranormal team that's gonna do something there, and we're gonna try to do it at the same time as the one over here and see like what could happen.
Well, I've got a pitch for you guys, because the DELCO maybe I'll save it for not on the air. Well, maybe we'll save this one. We'll get back to
All right, cool.
We'll talk off the air.
Something in the works, right?
Yeah, I got a theory I want to throw past.
All right, cool. Definitely.
Yeah, the idea that these entities, this information, this subconscious network, skeptics say, well, that's all it is. It's just you heard about it, you read about it, so it's in the back of your mind. It's in your subconscious, and that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of throws away the physical aspect, which we know is there. I mean, cattle gets mutilated, people have implants, people get scratched by ghosts. You know, there's things
chupacabras running all over the place.
Yeah, there's physical effects occurring. So something's going on beyond that.
Yeah.
And you know, it's always fun to look at.
Yeah,
never gets boring.
Well, a great show. I mean, we really put some thought in this one.
We
really got expanded.
We hit all kinds of topics for sure.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, Chaz.
Yeah, definitely, man. Chaz,
we'll definitely do a part 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this real quick, man. Tell people where they can find you and find your articles and find your writings and all and your social media or whatever it is that you got going on. If you want to
check them out.
Yeah, you can find me on all of the social medias at Chaz of the Dead, no spaces. I do haunted locations on TikTok. I post all kinds of stuff on Instagram and Twitter. And then chazofthedead.com, you can find links to all my articles. I write monthly for Paranormality Magazine. They do great stuff and fund all kinds of public research and cool stuff. Go check them out. And then, I've got some books. You can find links to all that at chazofthedead.com. For the Florida people, there's a great one I just released this year, A Place Between Time and Space. It's about the Betts Castle, this weird place with ghost legends, UFO legends. Oh, we're going there. We got it. RPG's got a device he wants to test out. We gotta set it up. We're gonna do it.
We're going.
It's gonna be cool. But yeah, I did some super weird investigations in that place. So check out all that stuff. And guys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
man, definitely thank you for coming. You could find my stuff. It's really easy to find if you just go to my website, www.flaparanormalresearcher.com. So that stands for Florida Paranormalresearcher.com, and it has links to all my newest stuff. Got a couple new YouTube videos out there. Love for you guys to check out. Put a lot of time and effort into editing those. So getting views on it is definitely rewarding. So definitely check that out. And if you're listening or watching right now, and make sure you subscribe to our War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. You can find upcoming events and different things going on. If you need help or anything like that, you can go to the warpartyparanormal.com, and it has all our information there and how to reach out to one of us, and we'll get in touch with you. And it has all our upcoming events. I think I said that already, but so yeah, definitely check it out. We'd appreciate it.
War Party Paranormal.
Eric?
Now I'm glad you got that part. Now I don't have to do it.
That's right. Where can we find you, Eric?
Well, before we start on me, don't forget about, by the way, Chaz, we're broadcasting through the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. It's one of the largest paranormal networks in the world. And they got all kinds of shows. It's not just us. We're not sitting here on YouTube. We're going through KGRA, through all the social platforms all over the world. And they got great shows. It's not just us. They talk about what we just talked about tonight, UFOs. They talk about cryptids. They have other great paranormal shows. They talk about spirituality. A lot of interesting people. We have the bishop. What's the bishop's name from Ghost Hunters of South Florida? He's on there.
Bishop John Long, I think.
Yep, he's on there. They have Mufon, Chaz Mufon. They got a show on here. They hop on our show. I'm too bad he didn't. I believe his name's Eric too.
Yeah, let's host that. We'll have a debate.
Yeah, there we go. That'd be good. I'm surprised he was in the chat tonight. But yeah, don't forget. Don't forget KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network, and we thank them for letting us broadcast our show on their network. And then lastly, me. I'm Ghost Hunter of South Florida. You can find me on all the social networks, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I've been doing much on my YouTube. I keep saying that, but I've been getting like a couple like subscribers here and there. So that's pretty cool.
Well, you have plenty of time, Eric. I mean, it's like you're sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Running a team, running the show, running around chasing ghosts with Mike. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Driving up to Tallahassee to hang out with Chaz.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, Mike, you want to take this home?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't know if we want to end the show with this, but we can. I think we forgot to mention too. I think Franny has a new episode coming soon.
Oh yeah, December 22nd.
So I'm gonna go ahead and play this little trailer for Franny's Supernatural Eye, and then that's gonna be the end of the show. So we'll see you all, guys.
Stay tuned for episode 2.
Appreciate you. Thanks, Chaz. Hey, hang tight. We'll talk after.
Coming up on season 2 of Supernatural Eye.
I always do that.
Okay.
Did I hit? Oh, the wall.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure.
Probably think that's fun.